This video is part 2 on conversions. In my first video, I had mass to moles where I was using molar mass. Now, I want to look at the second part of our conversions, where we're starting with moles and going into molecules or atoms. Those are the two most common ones that you've seen. If it asks for just general particles, we would follow the same process. If it asks for formula units, it would be the same process as well. If I'm starting with moles and going into molecules, or if I'm starting with molecules and going into moles, either direction that I'm going into, I am going to use Avogadro's number. Now, I will not give you Avogadro's number, so either memorize it or write it on the note card that you're allowed for the test so that you know what Avogadro's number is. Avogadro's number is that 1 mole is equal to 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd of whatever these units are. It could be molecules, it could be atoms, it could be particles. So let's go ahead and see an example. And I'm going to leave this part up there so that we can use it as a comparison. 0.63 moles of NO2 into molecules. So I'm starting here with moles, and I'm going over into molecules. So I'm going to start with that amount on my left side, 0.632 moles of NO2. I'm going to set up my fence post here. I need to cancel, again, my moles is kind of on the top. I don't need to label anything down here. If you wanted to, it would be a 1, but a lot of people try to label their units and then it just gets confusing. So you don't have to put any number there at all. To cancel my units, right now they're on the top, I need them to be on the bottom in order to cancel. So I'm going to put moles here on the bottom of NO2. And I am trying to get into molecules, so that is the unit that I put on top. Now, when I'm plugging in my numbers to figure out whether I multiply or divide, I'm using this ratio, this equality. 1 mole is equal to 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd of molecules. So that means 1 mole, well, I'm going to put the 1 here with moles. 1 mole is equal to, that's what that horizontal line means, is equal to, and then I'm going to put the 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd molecules on the top. Now, when I plug this into my calculator, and that's the tricky part, this is on the top, that is also on the top, so I times these two numbers. This goes down, so I can divide by 1, but anything divided by 1 is going to be itself. So I just care about multiplying those two numbers together. So I'm going to try to show you the calculator so you can see what I'm plugging in. I'm going to start with, and this is a TI calculator. I know several of you have a Casio, so it would be slightly different. So bear with me while I try to work it on this calculator. I'm going to put 0.632 times, then I'm going to plug in my 6.02. In order to put the times 10 to the 23rd in the calculator, I'm going to look for that capital EE button right above the comma here, and it's colored in blue. So if you have a TI, you're going to hit this little blue second button, and then that EE button. And if you look, it gives you a capital little E on your calculator screen. That means the times 10 part. So it's already taken care of times 10. Then I need to put in my exponent, which is the 23rd power, so I'm going to put in 2, 3. Equals, I get 3.80 gives me a whole bunch of other numbers, and then at the very end, it says E again, and then 23. That E means times 10, and the 23 that comes after is the exponent. So that would be our answer. Now, if you have a Casio, odds are you probably have an EXP button. You might have a button that looks like times 10 to the X. Either way, you push that button, and then you have to put the 2, 3 as your exponent. Always include units. So this is 3.80 times 10 to the 23rd molecules. Let's go backwards. So here, I have 7.24 times 10 to the 24th atoms of carbon into moles. So I'm starting with my atoms, trying to go just into moles. So I'm going to use Avogadro's number. I'm going to write out what I know, my 7.24 times 10 to the 24th atoms. Set up my fence post so my units cancel. Right now I'm in atoms. I don't want to stay in atoms, so the unit of atoms comes onto the bottom. I can only convert atoms into moles. There is no other direction that I can go, so I can only go into moles. So I'm going to put my unit of moles on the top. Again, I have 1 mole is equal to 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. So, because moles is on the top, that's where my 1 goes. 1 mole is equal to 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. That's going to go with my unit atom. Now, to plug this in my calculator, I would multiply it by the 1, because that's on the top. Well, anything times 1 is itself. And then this is in the denominator. It's down. It's at the bottom. So I would have to divide. So I'm going to plug this first number into my calculator, and then I'm going to divide by this number. When you plug these into calculators, you've got 2 options. Use that EE button. That's your first option. You can also put it in parentheses. So if you don't know how to use the EE button, but you know how to use like the little caret